The FBI thought she was just a kid. A teenage girl sitting nervously across the table, trying to explain what she had discovered, only to be met with chuckles and dismissive smirks. But what they didn't know was that her mother wasn't just any parent, she was a decorated Navy SEAL who had faced down enemies on the other side of the world. And when she walked into that room, everything changed. If you believe in standing up for family and never underestimating someone because of their age, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and show your support, because this story will have your jaw on the floor. Emily Carter was only 16 when her life collided with the kind of danger most adults would never dare to face. She grew up in a modest Virginia town, the daughter of Sarah Carter, a woman everyone in the neighborhood respected but never fully understood. Sarah kept her past close to the chest, rarely speaking about her career, and Emily only knew bits and pieces. Her mom was in the Navy and traveled a lot. What Emily didn't know until much later was that her mother was one of the first women ever to complete the Navy SEAL qualification pipeline, an operator with a reputation for being relentless. But Emily wasn't a typical teenager either. She had a sharp mind, a natural knack for technology, and an insatiable curiosity. While most of her classmates were on social media or hanging out at the mall, Emily spent nights on her laptop, teaching herself coding, digging into cybersecurity forums, and experimenting with ways to uncover hidden information online. It wasn't about mischief for her, it was about puzzles. She loved solving things others ignored. One evening, while running through what she thought was a harmless data scrape on a public government archive, Emily stumbled upon something strange. It was a series of communications that didn't look like they belonged, encrypted snippets buried in an open-access folder. Intrigued, she decrypted part of it using skills she had picked up through online communities. To her shock, the messages referred to shipping routes, weapons transfers, and coded mentions of people in power. It read like a conspiracy thriller, but this was real. Emily did what she thought was right. She printed her findings, organized them in a binder, and requested a meeting with the local FBI field office. She expected gratitude, maybe concern. Instead, she was escorted into a cold room with two agents who barely hid their amusement. "So you're telling us," one agent said with a smirk, flipping through her papers, "that a 16-year-old hacked into the government and found, what? A secret weapons ring?" Emily swallowed hard. "I didn't hack anything. It was in a public archive. I just connected the dots." The other agent chuckled, shaking his head. "Kid, we've got real cases to deal with. Next time, try a science fair." The laughter stung. Emily felt her cheeks burn, not just from embarrassment but from anger. She knew what she saw. She knew it mattered. But no matter how much she tried to explain, they dismissed her as a naive teenager chasing shadows. And then the door opened. Sarah Carter walked in, her presence filling the room before she even spoke. Dressed in civilian clothes but carrying herself with the unmistakable posture of someone trained to lead, she glanced at her daughter, then at the agents. "Is there a reason," she asked in a low, steady voice, "that you're mocking my child instead of listening to her?" The agents shifted uncomfortably. "Ma'am, your daughter thinks she uncovered some kind of national conspiracy. You're just underestimating her," Sarah cut in sharply. "Which tells me you're not half as sharp as you should be. Show me what she found." Emily slid the binder toward her mom. Sarah read it with the kind of intensity that made both agents fall silent. As her eyes scanned the pages, her jaw tightened. She looked up slowly. "This isn't a game," Sarah said. "She's right. These codes reference actual operations. I've seen formats like this in live missions. If you laughed at her, you just laughed at the first real lead you've had in years." The agent stared. One stammered, "Wait, you recognize this?" "I don't just recognize it," Sarah said. "I've bled in places where this language was used. And if this is resurfacing here, then someone is playing a very dangerous game." From that moment, everything shifted. Emily was no longer a kid with a theory, she was now part of something bigger, pulled into a web of intelligence, corruption, and danger that neither she nor her mother had asked for. Over the next weeks, strange things began happening. Their house was watched at night by unmarked cars. Emily's laptop was hacked remotely, files disappearing as quickly as she saved them. At school, she noticed unfamiliar men lingering near the entrance. Sarah, with her instincts honed from years in the field, recognized the signs. "We've rattled someone," she told Emily. "And now they're rattling us back." The FBI, reluctantly, reopened their case based on Sarah's credibility, but as Emily and her mom pushed deeper, it became clear the conspiracy reached higher than anyone expected. A ring of corrupt officials, protected by layers of bureaucracy, were using legitimate shipping routes to move illegal arms. Emily's discovery had cracked the door open. The turning point came when Sarah was asked to testify in a closed hearing, only for the lead witness scheduled before her to suddenly disappear. The message was clear: speak, and pay the price. That night, their home was broken into. Emily hid in a closet clutching her phone, recording everything, while Sarah single-handedly fought off two masked intruders. By morning, the evidence Emily captured was undeniable. The FBI could no longer laugh this off. Her recording went viral after being leaked to the press, and suddenly, public eyes were on the case. The laughter turned into urgency. But the biggest twist came when Emily realized the encrypted files contained not just shipping data but names, one of which belonged to a senior official inside the FBI itself. That explained why she had been mocked, why the case had been buried, why they were being hunted. Trusting the wrong person could get them both silenced. Mother and daughter stood together, facing not just criminals but corruption at the very heart of the system. Sarah, the seasoned Navy SEAL, provided strength and strategy. Emily, the teenage tech genius, provided brains and breakthrough. Together, they exposed the conspiracy, forcing resignations and arrests at the highest levels. In the end, the same agents who once laughed at Emily stood beside her at a press conference, humbled. Cameras flashed as Sarah placed a steady hand on her daughter's shoulder. "Next time," Sarah said into the microphone, "don't underestimate the kid in the room. She might be the smartest one there." Emily smiled, no longer nervous, no longer dismissed. She wasn't just a teenager anymore, she was a symbol of what happens when courage and truth refuse to be silenced. If you believe every voice matters, no matter the age, make sure to subscribe and join our community. We bring you stories that inspire, shock, and remind us of the power of truth. And now tell me, from which part of the country are you watching this story today?